The space station called Concordia floated in the darkness between stars. It was a place where different alien races could meet safely. Tonight, something very important was happening. The great Queen Zareth of the Vexhai Empire had come here to talk about peace with the humans. Queen Zareth was tall and made of crystal. Her body sparkled like diamonds when light hit it. Her people, the Vexhai, were old and powerful. They had ruled parts of space for thousands of years. They believed that feelings were weak. Only duty and honor mattered to them. With the queen came her daughter, Princess Kethra. The young princess looked like her mother but smaller. Her crystal body was clear and beautiful. She had never seen other alien races before. Her mother had kept her safe on their home world. The peace talks would decide if humans and Vexhai would be friends or enemies. Both sides wanted to avoid a war. Wars cost too much and destroyed too many lives. They met at the best restaurant on Concordia. The place was fancy with soft lights and quiet music. Important people from both races sat at a long table. The Vexhai sat on one side. The humans sat on the other. Queen Zareth looked at the humans with cold eyes. She thought they were weak and young. Her people had been traveling in space when humans still lived in caves. Why should she treat them as equals? The human leader was Ambassador Sarah Chen. She was middle-aged with kind eyes and gray hair. She had spent years learning about alien cultures. She knew this meeting was very important for both races. A young human man came to serve them food. His name was Marcus Chen. He was the ambassador's nephew. He worked at the restaurant to pay for his studies. He wanted to learn about alien biology. Marcus was 25 years old with dark hair and friendly eyes. He wore the restaurant's uniform and carried himself with quiet confidence. When he saw the alien guests, he smiled and bowed politely. "Welcome to Concordia's finest restaurant," Marcus said. "I am honored to serve you tonight." The Vexhai officials looked at him like he was nothing. In their culture, servants were below notice. Only important people mattered. But Marcus did not seem upset. He just kept smiling and did his job well. Princess Kethra watched Marcus carefully. She had never seen a human before. He moved differently than her people. Where Vexhai were stiff and formal, he seemed relaxed and natural. When he set down her plate, he looked right at her and smiled. "I hope you enjoy the meal, Your Highness," he said. Kethra felt something strange happen inside her crystal chest. No one had ever spoken to her so simply and kindly. In her world, everyone was always formal and careful around her. Queen Zareth noticed her daughter watching the human. She frowned. "Kethra, do not stare at the servants," she said, using their telepathic speech. "It is beneath you." But Kethra could not stop looking. When Marcus brought them drinks, she asked him a question out loud. "What is your name?" Marcus looked surprised. Most alien royalty never spoke to waiters. "My name is Marcus, Your Highness." "Marcus," she repeated, trying out the human sounds. "That is a nice name." Queen Zareth's crystal body flashed with anger. Speaking to servants was not proper, but they were guests here, so she stayed quiet. The dinner continued. The grown-ups talked about trade routes and military treaties. Kethra found it boring. She kept watching Marcus as he moved around the room. He treated everyone the same way, whether they were important or not. He was kind to the other waiters. He helped clean up when someone spilled a drink. During a break in the talks, Marcus came to refill their water glasses. Kethra was brave enough to ask another question. "Do all humans smile so much?" Marcus laughed. It was a warm, happy sound. "Most of us do. Smiling makes people feel good." "Don't your people smile?" Kethra touched her crystal face. "We do not." "I do not know that word, smile." Marcus made his face change. His mouth curved up and his eyes got smaller. "This is a smile. It shows when we are happy." "Happy," Kethra said slowly. "What is happy?" Queen Zareth heard this question and felt alarm. Her daughter was asking about feelings. Vexhai children learned early to control all emotions. "Kethra, that is enough questions," she said firmly, but it was too late. Kethra had discovered something new. These humans had words for feelings. They showed feelings on their faces. Her own people hid everything inside. Marcus saw that he had caused trouble. He bowed to Queen Zareth. "I apologize if I said something wrong, Your Majesty." The Queen studied his face. He looked truly sorry. Most people were afraid of her, but this human seemed to care about her daughter's feelings more than his own safety. "Just do your job," she said coldly. Marcus nodded and went back to work. But Kethra kept watching him. Every time he passed their table, she tried to copy his smile. Her crystal face could not change shape like human faces, but something inside her felt warm and light. Queen Zareth noticed her daughter's strange behavior. Kethra sat up straighter. Her crystal body seemed to glow a little brighter. The queen had not seen her daughter look so alive in years. The peace talks ended for the night. Both sides would meet again tomorrow. As they got ready to leave, Kethra did something that shocked everyone. She stood up and walked over to Marcus. "Thank you for teaching me about smiles," she said. Marcus bowed. "It was my pleasure, Your Highness." Queen Zareth quickly pulled her daughter away. But as they walked back to their ship, she could not stop thinking about what she had seen. Her daughter had shown more life in one evening with a human waiter than in months at the royal court. That night, Queen Zareth lay in her crystal bed and wondered about many things. What if emotions were not weakness? What if her people had forgotten something important about living? What if this young human understood something that she did not? In her own room, Princess Kethra touched her face again and again. She tried to remember what a smile looked like. For the first time in her life, she wanted to feel something called happiness. The next morning came too slowly for Princess Kethra. She had not slept well. Her mind was full of new ideas about smiles and happiness. She wanted to see the human waiter again. Queen Zareth noticed her daughter's excitement. "You seem different today," she said as they prepared for the morning session. "I feel strange," Kethra admitted. "Light inside. Is that wrong?" The queen did not know how to answer. Vex-High children were taught to be calm and controlled. Kethra had always been the perfect princess until last night. They returned to the restaurant for lunch. The peace talks were going better today. Both sides wanted to find solutions, but Kethra was not interested in politics. She looked around for Marcus. He was working at another table. When he saw her, he gave her that wonderful smile again. Kethra's crystal body actually glowed a little brighter. Some of the other Vex-High officials noticed and frowned. During a break, Kethra found Marcus in a quiet corner of the restaurant. He was organizing clean plates and glasses. "Marcus," she said softly. He turned around and smiled. "Hello, Your Highness. How are you today?" "I tried to practice smiling like you showed me," she said, "but my face does not move like yours." Marcus looked at her glowing crystal features. "You know what? I think you do smile. Just differently. See how you glow brighter when you're happy? That's your smile." Kethra looked down at her hands. They were indeed glowing more than usual. "Really? Really? Every species probably shows happiness in their own way." This made Kethra think. "Can you tell me more about human feelings?" Marcus looked around to make sure no one was listening. "Well, humans have many feelings. Happy, sad, excited, afraid, angry, peaceful. We think feelings make life more interesting. My people say feelings make you weak." "Maybe," Marcus said thoughtfully, "but they also make you strong in different ways. When you love someone, you will do anything to protect them. When you feel joy, it gives you energy. When you feel sad about bad things, it makes you want to fix them." Kethra had never heard anyone talk about feelings this way. "What is love?" Marcus smiled gently. "Love is caring about someone so much that their happiness matters more than your own. Parents love their children. Friends love each other. People in love want to spend their lives together. Do you think my mother loves me?" The question surprised Marcus. "Of course she does. She brought you with her to these important talks. She watches you carefully. She protects you. Those are things loving parents do." Kethra thought about this. Her mother did watch her and protect her, but she had never said anything about love or happiness. "Marcus," she said quietly, "you said humans have music. What is music?" Marcus looked around again. The restaurant was busy and no one was watching them. He pulled out a small device from his pocket. "This is my personal music player," he said. "Music is. It's hard to explain. It's sounds that make you feel things. Want to hear some?" Kethra nodded eagerly. Marcus put in small earpieces and gave one to her. He played a soft, gentle song. The princess had never heard anything like it. The sounds moved up and down in patterns that somehow made her crystal body vibrate. She felt the warmth inside her chest grow stronger. "It makes me feel floaty," she whispered. "That's a peaceful song," Marcus explained. "Different music makes you feel different things. This one is calm and happy." They listened to 3 more songs together. One made Kethra feel excited. Another made her feel sad in a strange but not unpleasant way. The third made her want to move her body. "I wish I could hear music all the time," she said when they finished. Marcus thought for a moment. Then he did something that could have gotten him in serious trouble. He gave her the music device. "Keep it," he said, "but be careful. Don't let anyone see it if they would be angry." Kethra stared at the gift. No one had ever given her anything just to make her happy. "Why are you being so kind to me?" "Because you seem lonely," Marcus said simply. "And because learning new things should make you happy, not afraid." Queen Zareth chose that moment to come looking for her daughter. She found them standing close together, talking quietly. Her crystal body flashed with warning colors. "Kethra, return to the table immediately." The princess quickly hid the music device in her formal robes. "Yes, mother." As they walked away, Queen Zareth spoke in their telepathic language. "You will not speak to that human again. It is not appropriate." "But mother, he is teaching me about their culture. Is that not valuable for understanding our new allies?" The queen paused. Her daughter made a good point. Understanding other cultures was important for a future ruler. But something about this human made her nervous. "Very well. But you will not be alone with him again, and you will remember your dignity as a princess." That afternoon, Kethra sat through more boring political discussions. But inside her robes, the music device played softly through a small earpiece. The songs made the time pass quickly and filled her with new feelings. She watched her mother during the talks. Queen Zareth was impressive and strong. She spoke with authority and made good arguments. But she never smiled. She never glowed with happiness. She never seemed to enjoy anything. For the first time, Kethra wondered if being a perfect Vexhai meant missing something important about being alive. That evening, alone in her room, she listened to Marcus's music and tried to understand what love meant. Did her mother love her? Did she love her mother? How could you tell? She thought about Marcus giving her the music device. He had risked getting in trouble just to make her happy. Was that love? It felt warm and safe and exciting all at the same time. Queen Zareth stood outside her daughter's door and heard soft, strange sounds coming from inside. She almost went in to investigate. But something stopped her. Her daughter sounded. Content. Happy. When was the last time she had heard Kethra laugh or sing or make any sound of joy? The queen went to her own room with a heavy heart. She was starting to realize that in teaching her daughter to be strong, she might have forgotten to teach her how to be alive. On the 3rd day, Princess Kethra made a discovery that changed everything. She had been listening to Marcus's music for 2 days. Each song made her feel different things. Some made her crystal body glow. Others made her feel peaceful. A few made her want to move. The problem was she did not know how to move to music. Vexhai stood straight and walked with dignity. They never moved, just for fun. During the afternoon break, Kethra snuck away from the political meetings. She went to the observation deck where she could see the stars through big windows. She thought no one would find her there. She put in her earpieces and played a song that made her feel excited and happy. As the music played, she tried to move her arms and legs like the feeling inside told her to do. But she felt awkward and strange. "I wish I knew how to do this," she whispered to herself. "Do what?" said a friendly voice behind her. Kethra spun around and saw Marcus. He was carrying a tray of empty glasses from a party that had ended nearby. She quickly tried to hide the music device, but it was too late. Marcus had seen it. "You've been listening to music," he said with a smile. "Do you like it?" Kethra's crystal body dimmed with embarrassment. "I was trying to... The music makes me want to move, but I do not know how." Marcus set down his tray and walked over to her. "You were trying to dance." "Dance?" "Dancing is moving your body to music. It's one of the oldest human activities. We dance when we're happy or celebrating or just because it feels good. Can you show me? Marcus looked around. They were alone on the observation deck. The stars twinkled outside the windows. The lighting was soft and peaceful. I could get in trouble for this, he said. Please, Kethra said. I have never wanted to learn anything so much in my whole life. Marcus could not say no to that honest request. He pulled out his own music device and connected it to the observation deck sound system. Soft, gentle music filled the room. Dancing is about feeling the music and letting your body move with it, he explained. There are no wrong ways to dance. Just do what feels good. He began to move slowly. His movements were smooth and natural. He stepped side to side and moved his arms gracefully. It looked like he was floating. Kethra watched carefully and tried to copy him. At first, she was stiff and awkward. HFY were not used to moving freely. Don't think so much, Marcus said. Just feel the music. Let it tell your body what to do. Slowly, Kethra began to relax. She closed her crystal eyes and listened to the music. The sound seemed to flow through her body like warm water. She began to move more naturally. Marcus showed her simple steps. How to sway with the rhythm, how to turn gracefully, how to use her arms to express the feeling of the music. As Kethra learned to dance, something magical happened. Her crystal body began to glow brighter and brighter. The light pulsed with the music. Soon she was shining like a small star. Look at you, Marcus said with wonder. You're beautiful when you dance. Kethra had never felt anything like this before. The music, the movement, the glowing of her body. It all felt like pure joy. She spun around with her arms out wide, laughing with delight. They danced together for several songs. Sometimes Marcus led and Kethra followed. Sometimes they just moved however they wanted. The princess discovered that dancing made her feel free and alive in a way she had never experienced. But their magical moment was interrupted. What is the meaning of this? Queen Zarath stood in the doorway of the observation deck. Her crystal body was flashing angry red colors. Behind her stood several HFY officials and human diplomats. Kethra stopped dancing immediately. Her glow faded as fear took over. Marcus quickly turned off the music. Mother, you were making a spectacle of yourself with this. This servant, Queen Zarath said coldly, in front of the stars themselves. But even as she spoke these harsh words, Queen Zarath felt something inside her chest that she had not felt in years. She had seen her daughter truly happy. Not just content or obedient, but filled with pure joy. Kethra had been glowing brighter than the queen had ever seen. Her movements had been graceful and free. For those few minutes, she had looked like she was truly alive. The HFY officials were scandalized. Your Majesty, the princess has forgotten her dignity, one of them said. This behavior is not fitting for royalty. Marcus stepped forward bravely. Your Majesty, please don't blame the princess. I offered to teach her about human culture. The fault is mine. Queen Zarath looked at this young human who was willing to take responsibility for her daughter's actions. He was protecting Kethra even though it might cost him his job. You will return to your duties immediately, she told Marcus, and you will stay away from my daughter. Yes, Your Majesty, Marcus said sadly. He bowed and left the observation deck. Kethra watched him go with tears forming in her crystal eyes. She had never cried before. The water made tiny prisms of light on her cheeks. Mother, please don't punish him, she whispered. He was only being kind. Queen Zarath saw her daughter's tears and felt her own heart crack a little. When had she last seen Kethra care so much about anything? We will discuss this later, she said. Return to your quarters. As the group broke up, Ambassador Sarah Chen approached Queen Zarath. She had watched the whole scene with interest. Your Majesty, she said quietly, I could not help but notice how happy your daughter looked while dancing. Happiness is not important for rulers, Queen Zarath replied automatically. Isn't it? Sarah asked. How can a ruler make good decisions for her people if she doesn't understand what makes life worth living? The question hit Queen Zarath like a bolt of lightning. She had spent so many years teaching Kethra to be strong and dutiful. But had she forgotten to teach her how to find meaning and joy in life? That night the queen stood at her window looking out at the stars. She thought about her daughter dancing with the human waiter. She thought about the pure joy on Kethra's glowing face. She thought about the tears when it ended. For the first time in decades, Queen Zarath wondered if her people had lost something important in their quest to be perfect and controlled. That night, Queen Zarath could not sleep. She kept seeing her daughter's face as she danced. The pure joy, the bright glow, the graceful movements, it had been beautiful. But it had also been everything the HFY taught their children not to be. She got up and walked through the corridors of their ship. Without really planning to, she found herself outside Kethra's room. She could hear soft crying inside. The Queen entered quietly. Kethra was curled up on her crystal bed, tears still flowing down her face. "My daughter," Queen Zareth said gently, "why do you weep?" "Because I will never feel that way again," Kethra whispered. "For a few minutes I understood what it meant to be alive. Now I have to go back to being nothing." The words cut deep into the Queen's heart. "You are not nothing. You are a princess of the HFY. But what does that mean if I can never be happy? What good is power if I can never feel joy?" "Mother, why do our people think feelings are bad?" Queen Zareth sat on the edge of her daughter's bed. She had not done that since Kethra was very young. "Long ago, our people fought terrible wars," she explained. "Emotions led to anger, and anger led to destruction. Our ancestors decided that controlling feelings would bring peace. But Mother, Marcus is not angry or destructive. He feels things, but he uses those feelings to be kind and helpful. Maybe our ancestors were wrong about emotions." The Queen was quiet for a long time. Finally, she spoke. "Tell me about this human. What makes him different?" Kethra sat up, her crystal body glowing softly with hope. "He treats everyone the same, whether they are important or not. He gave me his music device just to make me happy. He was willing to take blame for my actions to protect me. He shows his feelings openly, but that makes him stronger, not weaker. And dancing." "What was that like?" Kethra's glow grew brighter. "It was like the music became part of me. My body wanted to move, and when I let it, everything felt right. I felt connected to something bigger than myself." "Is that what happiness is?" Queen Zareth thought about her own life. When was the last time she had felt connected to something bigger? When had she last done anything just because it felt right? "Perhaps," she said slowly, "I should observe this human more carefully to understand what he has taught you." The next morning, Queen Zareth did something she had never done before. Instead of going straight to the political meetings, she went to the restaurant early and watched Marcus work. She sat in a corner where she could see but not be easily noticed. She watched how Marcus treated the other workers. He helped them when they were busy. He made them laugh with gentle jokes. When one young waiter dropped a tray of dishes, Marcus helped clean up without making the boy feel bad. She watched how he served the customers. He was patient with difficult people. He remembered what everyone liked to drink. He made conversation with lonely diners to help them feel welcome. Most importantly, she watched his face. Marcus showed many emotions throughout the morning. Sometimes he looked tired. Sometimes he smiled with genuine warmth. Once, when he thought no one was looking, he seemed sad about something. But all of these feelings made him more real, more present, more alive. A HFY would have hidden all these emotions. They would have served customers with perfect, cold efficiency. But Marcus's open emotions made people trust him and like him. His feelings made him better at his job, not worse. During the lunch break, something happened that changed everything for Queen Zareth. An elderly human customer had a heart attack. He collapsed at his table, clutching his chest. Other customers panicked and backed away, but Marcus ran forward immediately. He checked the man's pulse and breathing. He called for medical help. While they waited for doctors, he held the frightened man's hand and spoke calmly to keep him conscious. "You're going to be okay," Marcus said. "Help is coming. Just breathe slowly. Think about something peaceful." "Tell me about your family," the old man whispered about his grandchildren. Marcus listened and asked gentle questions to keep him talking. When the medical team arrived, the man was stable and conscious. Queen Zareth watched this entire scene with growing understanding. Marcus had acted quickly and bravely because he cared about a stranger's life. His emotions, compassion, concern, love for other people, had made him a hero in that moment. A HFY would have been calmer and more efficient. But would a HFY have risked their own dignity to hold a dying stranger's hand? Would they have cared enough to act so quickly? That afternoon, Queen Zareth made a decision that shocked everyone, including herself. She approached Marcus during his break. He was sitting alone, looking tired after the emergency. "Human," she said formally, "I wish to speak with you." Marcus stood up quickly and bowed. "Your Majesty, how can I serve you?" "Sit," she commanded. "I want to understand something. This morning you helped save that man's life. Why did you risk yourself for a stranger? Marcus looked confused. I didn't risk anything, Your Majesty. He needed help. But he was not your responsibility. You could have let others handle it. I suppose I could have, Marcus said slowly. But I couldn't just watch someone suffer when I might be able to help. It would have felt wrong. You made your decision based on emotion. Yes, I guess I did. Queen Zarath studied his honest face. And you believe this made your decision better, not worse? I think caring about people helps us make good choices, Marcus said carefully. If we don't care, why would we bother to help anyone? The queen was quiet for a long moment. Then she asked the question that had been bothering her for days. You have been kind to my daughter. You gave her something that made her happy. You risked punishment to teach her your customs. Why? Marcus smiled gently. Because she seemed lonely and curious. She wanted to learn and experience new things. How could I not help with that? Even though she is an alien? Even though she is royalty and you are a servant? Those things don't matter, Marcus said simply. She's a young person who wanted to understand the world better. Anyone deserves help with that. Queen Zarath felt something crack open inside her crystal chest. This human saw her daughter not as a princess or an alien, but as a person. He had treated Kethra with the kind of unconditional kindness that she realized was love. For the first time in her life, Queen Zarath began to understand what love truly meant. It was not control or protection or duty. It was seeing someone clearly and wanting them to be happy, even if their happiness was different from what you expected. Part 5. The peace talks were almost finished. Both sides had agreed on most points. There would be trade between humans and Vexhai. There would be cultural exchanges. There would be no war. But Queen Zarath found herself thinking more about her daughter than about politics. That evening, she made a decision that would change both their lives forever. She found Kethra in her room, listening quietly to Marcus's music. The princess looked up with guilty eyes when her mother entered. I'm sorry, Mother. I know I should not. Show me, Queen Zarath interrupted. What? Show me this dancing. I want to understand what you experienced. Kethra stared at her mother in shock. You want to see me dance? I want to understand why it made you so happy. With trembling hands, Kethra connected the music device to her room's speakers. She chose a gentle, peaceful song that had become her favorite. As the music began, Kethra started to move. At first she was nervous and stiff, but gradually she relaxed into the rhythm. Her crystal body began to glow. She swayed and turned gracefully, letting the music guide her movements. Queen Zarath watched in amazement. Her daughter was transformed. The rigid, dutiful princess disappeared, replaced by someone alive and joyful and free. Kethra's glow pulsed with the music like a living heartbeat. When the song ended, both mother and daughter had tears in their crystal eyes. How do you feel when you dance? Queen Zarath asked softly. Like I am who I was meant to be, Kethra whispered. Like I am not hiding anymore. And hiding is what I taught you to do, the queen realized. I taught you to hide your feelings, your curiosity, your natural joy. I thought I was making you strong, but I was making you smaller. Kethra looked at her mother with hope and fear. Does this mean? It means I have been wrong about many things, Queen Zarath said. It means I need to learn what you have learned. The next morning was the final day of the peace talks. There would be a ceremony to sign the agreements. After that, both groups would go home. Queen Zarath had made her choice. During the morning break, she approached Marcus one last time, but this time she brought Kethra with her. Human, she said formally, my daughter has something to ask you. Kethra stepped forward, glowing nervously. Marcus, would you teach my mother to dance? Marcus looked shocked. Your Majesty, Are you sure? Queen Zarath took a deep breath. I have watched you for 3 days. I have seen how your emotions make you kind and brave and helpful. I have seen how you treat my daughter not as a princess, but as a person. I want to understand what she has learned from you. Marcus looked around the restaurant. Many people were watching. Some looked shocked. Others looked curious. Here? He asked, in front of everyone. Yes, Queen Zarath said firmly. If I am going to learn about human emotions, I should not hide it. Marcus connected his music device to the restaurant's sound system. He chose the same gentle song that Kethra had danced to the first time. Dancing is about letting go of control, he explained to the queen. It's about trusting your body and the music. It's about being in the moment instead of worrying about looking perfect. Queen Zareth nodded stiffly. I understand the concept. No, Marcus said gently. Understanding and doing are different things. Close your eyes and just listen to the music first. The queen closed her crystal eyes. The soft melody filled her mind. Slowly she began to feel what Kethra had described. The music seemed to flow through her body like water. Now move however feels natural, Marcus said. At first Queen Zareth just swayed slightly. She was fighting thousands of years of training that told her to stand straight and controlled. But gradually the music won. She began to move more freely. Her movements were different from Kethra's, more regal and flowing, but they were genuine. And as she moved, her crystal body began to glow. The glow started small and grew brighter. Soon Queen Zareth was shining like a small sun. The light pulsed with the music and her movements. Everyone in the restaurant stopped what they were doing to watch. They had never seen anything like it. The powerful alien queen was dancing with a human waiter, and both of them were glowing with joy. When the song ended, Queen Zareth opened her eyes and looked around at all the watching faces. For a moment she felt embarrassed. Then she looked at her daughter's proud glowing face and felt something else entirely. She felt love, not the careful, controlled love she had always shown, but the open, unconditional love that Marcus had shown Kethra, love that wanted the other person to be happy, even if that happiness looked different than expected. How do you feel, Mother? Kethra asked softly. Alive, Queen Zareth said with wonder. For the first time in decades I feel truly alive. Marcus bowed deeply. Your Majesty, it has been an honor to teach you. No, Queen Zareth said. The honor has been mine. You have given my daughter something I could not. You have given her the knowledge that she deserves to be happy. And you have given me the chance to remember what love truly means. She turned to address everyone in the restaurant. Humans and Vexai alike listened carefully. I came here believing that emotions were weakness, she announced. I was wrong. Emotions are what make life meaningful. They are what connect us to each other across the vastness of space. Today, I have learned that true strength comes not from hiding our feelings, but from sharing them wisely. The formal signing ceremony that afternoon was different than anyone expected. Instead of cold political agreements, it became a celebration of connection and understanding. Queen Zareth announced that she was establishing a cultural exchange program. Young Vexai would come to Earth to learn about human arts and emotions. Young humans would visit the Vexai homeworld to share their perspectives. Marcus was offered the position of first human ambassador to the Vexai Empire. He accepted, knowing that he could help build bridges between the two species. But the most important change was in Queen Zareth herself. She returned home with her daughter, but she was not the same ruler who had left. She began to encourage emotional expression among her people. She established schools for the arts. She changed laws that had suppressed individual happiness in favor of collective duty. And sometimes in the royal palace, people would hear music playing. If they looked carefully, they might see their queen and princess dancing together, their crystal bodies glowing with joy and love. The peace between humans and Vexai lasted for generations. But more than that, it became a friendship built on understanding that true strength comes from the courage to be vulnerable, to care deeply, and to let love guide your actions. Marcus had taught them that love was not weakness. Love was the force that connected all living beings across the universe. And once you truly understood love, you could never go back to living without it. Queen Zareth learned that the greatest gift she could give her daughter was not protection or power, but the freedom to be herself, and the knowledge that she was loved exactly as she was. And Kethra learned that curiosity and joy were not childish things to be outgrown, but precious gifts to be treasured and shared. The dance they shared that day in the restaurant became a symbol of what was possible when different beings chose to see each other, not as aliens or enemies, but as fellow travelers seeking meaning and connection in the vast cosmos. In the end, it was not politics or military might that brought peace between their species. It was the simple act of one person showing kindness to another, and the recognition that every being in the universe deserves to feel the warmth of genuine love.